Cookie here. It's the Pat and JT podcast.
Pat and JT podcast.
All right, we have guests.
We do have guests in the studio.
Actually, okay, so Dan Hoppen's here with us, and we had you on the podcast not that long ago.
Less than 2 weeks.
Right?
Your episode hopping.
All right.
This is your second
Look at him
one.
go.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever said that before. And because you're getting ready to launch your podcast.
Yes, very excited about that.
So Parkville Media, very excited about that as well. And so you were in today recording your first episode.
Mm-hmm.
And we cornered you and made you, well, we just didn't let you leave. And said, so you and your guest have to stay.
Well, when my guest is so good, you
Right?
didn't have any choice but to try and
Absolutely.
rope her in too. So
Absolutely. So Erin Sorensen, welcome to our podcast.
Thanks. I mean, if you guys want to just keep talking about how great I am, I'll just
Right.
stay here all afternoon.
Right, no problem.
I
That's
will.
what we do.
I'm fine with this. Just keep on going, man. Keep on going. This is great. So how'd the podcast go?
Good. I'm
Yeah.
so excited for Dan.
Yeah.
This
I'm
is gonna be a lot of
starving
fun.
now listening to you two.
yeah.
Talking about burgers and chili and cinnamon rolls and all this stuff.
I'm just so excited that you're doing this because the one thing I will say about the Omaha, but even Nebraska market is I think there's a need to sort of talk about food in the way that you're talking about it. And I'm so excited for you to take what you've done on social and really bring it to a different platform.
Yes.
That's the
It's
idea.
true.
Yeah,
it
I'd
is
love
because
to.
Omaha has so many different
Mm-hmm.
styles and cuisines and ethnicities
Mm-hmm.
and just flavors. There's so much out there. And if you're not familiar with some, you might be hesitant to go try it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a
You're right.
trusted voice.
If you find your sweet spot, you're like, I'm just going to go back to blah, blah, blah.
I know,
'cause
isn't
just
that
need
the
some
truth?
food. Yeah, you just
'Cause
never step out of your
like when
comfort
you go
zone.
to a fast food restaurant, you always order the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
So me and Chipotle. That is what I do.
right?
The people in Omaha haven't figured out my order yet. I've lived here long enough. You'd think that they
What's
know
your
who
order?
I am.
What's your go-to?
So I'm so basic. I get white rice, but extra rice. That
Okay.
the entire reason I can't order online is because I know they will not give me as much rice as I want. So I have to go to physically
ask
be
in
like, no,
person.
Do you
no.
hover? You hover and
I
say
do.
no
I'm
more.
like, no, more. They're used to me on that front though. They know who I am. No beans, steak. I get 2 scoops of the pico, 1 scoop of hot cheese, and then guac on the side, as well as a tortilla on the side.
The guac is worth it.
Oh, the
it is.
guac
All
is good.
in itself.
All the
Yeah.
Qdoba people, they're like, "Ugh, you got to pay an extra $1.50 for guac." I'm like,
They
"Well, it's
build it
delicious."
into the price, though. That's the thing. Qdoba builds.
Yes.
But I need people to understand. They build the free stuff into the price. So
Exactly.
it's not like you're getting. I have actually. Here you
I
go.
wish people
Let's
could
do
see
this.
how passionate Erin's getting right
I know.
now. This
I'm
is
like
awesome.
my arms are in the air.
She's pitting out in the studio.
Yeah. This is what we need to do. Is we need to go do the order the same thing at both places.
I did this.
Because I've done it.
Yes.
And I actually spend more at Qdoba
Right.
than I do at Chipotle because it's just they build it into the price. So you're in your head.
Right.
It's kind of like when they do prices as like $6.99. So you're more likely to buy it because it's not $7.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
There goes that Qdoba sponsorship.
Right, thanks.
They're,
Erin.
it's still good.
It's just they're crooks. They're just criminals.
They're just stealing your money.
right, but they're still delicious.
So they
But
can
your
pay
Chipotle
us.
sponsorship is really,
Yeah.
really strong right now.
They just tweeted us. They are so happy.
Chipotle and Block 16 after today.
Seriously.
They're going to pay for this
Okay.
thing themselves.
So I'm going to bring in something else because we've talked about it one time and I had one today. Is the Burger King taco.
It's
Whoa.
legit, right?
What?
Crazy. It's a
Bomb.
buck right now.
Oh.
And
I think
it's,
hopefully it's a buck forever. Like, it's been
Dan's
a buck
face
for a
was
minute.
just so stunned.
I just, so I've heard of this. I've even seen it, but still just the thought of it.
I know.
Every time I hear about it, I'm just like,
It doesn't feel
but
right.
it's not,
It
it's not
doesn't.
Taco King.
I
I don't
know, I
understand.
don't
But it's good.
it's good.
How?
I don't understand what the tortilla is.
It doesn't matter. Shh. It's just. I think it's. I think
It's really
I think
super
it's a,
crispy.
I think it's a corn. I don't know, or
Do you
flour.
think they just press?
Those are the choices.
They just
Pat.
press the hamburger bun down and fried it and turned it into a bun.
No.
Into a
No, it's
tortilla.
it's super thin and it's super crispy.
And it's fried, right?
And
it's
it's
like
fried.
it's
And
like
so
a
it's-
puffy
it's-
taco, but it's not
It
puffy.
is. There's a little bit of a that doesn't have much puff,
okay.
but it's flat almost, and there's just enough stuff. It's not like it's this loaded taco.
It's good.
Just enough stuff in it.
But it's not like ketchup and pickles and stuff,
No.
right? Oh, so it's like,
No.
okay. Because that's
legit.
what immediately comes to mind. It's like,
if you
Maybe
if you'd
talk
have closed
about
your
a
eyes,
Whopper.
that's delicious. If you'd close your eyes, you'd never know it was from Burger King. Like you would think it's from.
And it's got some zip.
It's almost more Migos-y than anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They've been trying a lot of things because they actually they're trying to do their version of a McGriddle, but they can't exactly just go make a McGriddle
Yeah.
at Burger King. So it's like a waffle, but the waffle doesn't look. They need to
If they-
perfect the waffle.
They
If
gotta
they
try it a little
figure
bit.
out how to make a keto anything,
Right.
they would be golden. And I mean, like the keto, like the
bun, even if it was like
chaffles.
$12.50, and there was like maybe if
Seriously.
there was a keto Whopper or whatever, or keto whatever.
They made they have the
The
vegetarian
Impossible
ones
Whopper.
now.
Yeah.
The Impossible.
I actually have
Burger.
heard that's
I'm
pretty
not
good.
even-
I've heard it's good too.
I've heard
Yeah.
it's bad for you, so I'm just saying.
It probably is bad for you, but I've heard it's good.
It's kind of like me and like Diet Coke. Like I know it's probably slowly killing me, but I mean it has no calories.
on,
So
the,
we're
Yeah.
fine.
on the way down, it's delicious.
But
Ignorance
there's
is
real
bliss.
cow. There's real cow right next to it.
I saw someone the other day. You know what though? Everything's slowly killing all of us because I saw somebody post on Facebook the other day about coffee and how coffee's not good for you because of where it's sourced from and there's pesticides. I'm like, man, there's pesticides in probably everything I'm
Right.
eating. So
My-
whatever.
Right. Our bodies, if we didn't have pesticides for one day, it'd be like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so
I'm-
used to just junk and chemicals,
It's true.
you know?
It is true. But
Now, was it Hail Varsity that you guys were talking about this when you were recording your podcast about the debate between people that like chili and cinnamon rolls and the people that don't?
Yep.
that's
wrong
been,
people.
That's been
The
going on
wrong
since I
people,
was in
agreed.
grade school.
Because it's
Because
right.
people come to Nebraska and they go, "What are you doing?" But Brandeis started with the cinnamon rolls way back, like in the 40s or 50s, downtown Omaha, the Brandeis building. You've seen it, surely, right? That's where your cinnamon roll legacy starts from, and then the chili that was a staple in grade school.
It is a staple.
Every Friday
Yeah.
we had cinnamon roll and
And
chili.
dip it in the chili.
yes.
I
See,
can't.
I don't dip the cinnamon roll and chili just because I've already said this. I told Dan this. I just don't mix food in general. So like Thanksgiving is a very difficult holiday for me because
I've
like,
always been the no food touching.
yeah, food can't touch.
Once I don't scoop, but like with the chili, I'll eat chili till I'm done with chili. Then
then
I'll
I
move on to cinnamon roll. But once
Yeah.
I eat cinnamon roll, I can't go back.
That is so weird. I mean, I just don't. Are you that way? Where
no,
you
I can go between the two.
I can't go back. Once
See, I like the
finish one.
perfect final bite is a little bit of everything on my plate.
Oh my gosh.
I actually
That's a
agree with
casserole,
that.
Pat.
Exactly my point. I love it. Like if you have a little mac and cheese, a little hot dog. I know I eat healthy. A little corn.
That's his
and the final
Thanksgiving, by the
bite.
way.
That's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Well,
right.
you know what you just reminded me of is in the food issue of Hail Varsity, we Derek Peterson, I got to give him credit. He talked to the Farniaks, their mom. She had 4.
Did you explain who they are first?
So they're the two, Matt and Will, play for Nebraska. They're offensive linemen, but they're
big
2
boys.
of 4. So they've had one son who played at Iowa State, another who played at Oklahoma, and then the final 2 are at Nebraska. So imagine that household.
Combined, they weigh close to like half a ton.
Oh,
right?
it's
because it's a ton's 2,000 pounds.
yeah.
crazy.
I
so
mean,
they're right around half a
she
ton.
said like the difference between having the 2 younger in the household versus all 4 was like the difference of buying like 50 pounds of like or 100 pounds of hamburger meat versus 50. It was like not
Insane.
But
Yeah.
here's you just like, oh my gosh, just the amount of food that they would eat. I don't even know where I was going with this, by the way. I just got really excited about like.
Right. You're like, I gotta tell you a story about a lot of
talking
food.
about
Oh,
Derek.
I remember Thanksgiving. Got it. I'm back.
Thanksgiving,
I'm
got
back.
it. Okay.
So,
Oh my
but here's
gosh,
the
yeah.
weird part is, speaking of pesticides, they read a story one time. These brothers did about something with turkey and the stuff that's in turkey. So they will not eat turkey ever. Not
Whoa.
sliced turkey, not Thanksgiving turkey, nothing. So it makes it very, very difficult on their mom because she basically like their Thanksgiving is like pot roast and meatloaf. It's like anything that's not.
Really? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What could possibly be in turkey that would hurt you? Tryptophan makes you go to sleep.
I
but
think it might be. I don't know.
they just don't want to be tired.
Controversial
They
opinion.
don't want to be tired.
yeah.
Ham is superior to turkey on Thanksgiving.
Oh wow.
Sliced honey baked ham.
Oh.
With cherries on it?
Pineapple?
I would go without that, but
would too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still
That
eat
was
turkey.
the nicest way of saying that, by the way.
that was a terrible idea. I would go without that potentially.
But you live your life.
I know, yeah, you
I-
live your best. That's the rudest thing he's ever said.
Getting back to
That's
the
you being
original
a jerk.
point. I still eat turkey on Thanksgiving, obviously, and it's still good. Ham-
Dark meat or white
ham is
meat?
better. Oh, dark.
And gravy. Yes or no?
If
it's
yeah.
white meat, definitely gravy.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the gravy.
Yeah.
See,
I like to try and be
I like-
healthy, but on Thanksgiving, you just
If it's
you-
white
you
meat, I
throw
have
that
to
out
have
the
gravy
window.
because it's just too.
It's so dry.
It is.
Yeah.
And, in comparison,
It needs help.
yeah, just needs help.
I like white meat. That's kind of my thing, but I put salt on it, which is also not
right.
helpful.
That's my
to
favorite.
your bike.
Love
No,
that.
but it tastes
It's
good.
odd.
It
'cause-
tastes great.
Yeah.
Right out of the refrigerator, Thanksgiving leftovers, just
See,
a
I
chunk
can't
of
eat leftovers either.
Oh,
What? How do you survive?
I love
Well,
leftovers.
let me rephrase. I can't eat leftover meat, but anything else. So like Thanksgiving meals, like my day after plate is just basically like mac and cheese, corn, like
Green
it's
bean
like
casserole.
yeah, it's just like all the sides. So like
That's delicious.
families now know when I eat with them to send me home with just like the one plate that's just like all the sides.
The sides.
So when does it transition from being today a meal to like a leftover? Like, does
The
it have to
second it
sit
goes in
then-
the fridge. It's like the second it goes
So
in the
if a
fridge.
pizza sits out on the oven for a couple hours during a football game,
pizza's
you're
fine.
good.
I love day after, like it's just
meat.
meat. It's just meat.
Just the meat
So you can leave the turkey out for 4 hours and she'll eat it.
all night long.
Yeah.
Forget salmonella. That's fine. But I will not eat a warmed up turkey. That is
And
the weirdest.
I like
ever.
Richard
I
describing
know.
cold turkey with the salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you
And
like
then make turkey sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
with stuffing
Miracle
on it?
Whip.
I made things very difficult on my mom as a child. I was an only child, and like, here's this poor, like, my poor mother just trying to like not have to make something every single day, and I just was a pain in the butt.
I have kids that are kind of that same way on certain things. Like they won't eat. My son won't eat warmed up anything. And the other day, I'm just like, I look at him like, shut up. It's a taco. It's still a taco. The meat is still taco meat. Shut up. Because
But
if
was
he,
it a Burger King taco?
No, it wasn't. Because if he had left and I'd have warmed it up and
They
put
wouldn't
a
know.
pan, they had no clue.
Right.
I'm like, I just made these and cleaned the pan already. All right, Dad, thanks. Crush it. High maintenance children.
I don't know. Maybe it's just your style. Maybe it's your prep style. They don't like watching your prep station.
No, yeah, it's not pretty, but get the job done.
I don't have children, but they sound great.
Yeah.
I know, right? I've been
So
telling
excited to get to that next step
Him that,
of
been telling
life.
him that for years.
That's right.
I'll just watch you. I'm good.
Amen.
All right, so we got the Burger King taco out of the way, and I had one for lunch today. It was good.
Okay,
So
fair
there you
enough.
go.
Yeah, we've got to
I need you to go try it, and then I'll follow
Interesting.
your feedback.
Okay.
I'm on a blog.
It's like a deep threat. Like, all right, I'll do this for the team.
So you guys,
Enough people have said it to the point where I trust it enough. On its face, if no one would say anything to me about it, I would never
Wouldn't
order
go close
that.
to it,
ever.
We
wouldn't
But
steer you wrong.
people who I do trust have said, "Hey, this is edible.
It's edible.
This
Your
is edible,
stomach will not disintegrate."
I was
true.
pleasantly surprised because I got it and I was on my way to Blair and I was starving, and so I just whipped through. All I was gonna do was grab something to drink, and I see taco for $1, and I'm like, really? And I heard you say you had one. So I thought, all right. So I just grabbed it, and I was never happier. And I wished I had two.
Never happier.
right, never. The bar is low.
That's going on the
Bar is
tombstone
low.
someday.
Right?
I was at
Never
my
ever
happiest with the Burger
not
King
happy,
taco.
Not happiest, but never happier.
Oh, I was
So it might
I was
be-
tied.
It might be equal.
Burger
Yes.
King taco, never happier. There's your tagline.
There it is.
That's your tagline right there.
They'll have Burger King does those commercials
Yeah.
now where they go out and they interview a bunch of people. You'll be next.
See?
Do you want to know something interesting about those type of commercials?
I do.
A friend of mine was in Vegas, and this was like, oh gosh, like 5-6 years ago now. She was in Vegas, and this person came up to her and was like, "Hey, do you want to be an IHOP commercial?" And of course, like most people would be like, "This is creepy. Please don't talk to me any
Yes.
longer." But her being very trusting and also
like,
with a group of friends,
"Sure."
are like, "Sure."
But it's also Vegas, and they weren't.
Well, so
a lot
they-
worse things happen. On
Right.
The street.
Well, they took them to the IHOP. I guess there must be one close to the strip or on the strip. So they
Yeah.
take them and they film this thing. She made like a couple $1,000s from that because
Jeez.
it's not just like they don't just come and like ask you to, like, they pay you to be in it. And so they basically paid her on a basis of what they expected the exposure of the commercial to be.
That's awesome.
That is
Well, there you go,
awesome.
So
Jill.
she ended
That's
up
it.
like buying like her and her at the time her boyfriend or fiance,
That's
now
scary.
husbands.
That.
Oh.
Oh, they're going.
She ended up buying like their furniture for their house.
That's
With, like what she
awesome.
did, all because like somebody in Vegas was like, "Hey, you want to come be in an IHOP commercial?" And she's like, "Why not?"
Thanks, IHOP.
So if anyone ever comes up to you and is like, "Hey, do you want to do a Burger King taco commercial?"
yeah.
So yes,
Heck
I do.
yes.
Follow me to the van in the alley. Let's go. I'm sure it'll work out just fine.
I'll give you 5 or 6 testimonials.
What do you mean I only get 5 tacos for doing this?
That's it.
Wait, that's not what the girl at IHOP got.
So okay, you guys know obviously a lot about restaurants, a lot about food, but happy hours in Omaha. Lincoln has some of the best happy hours. Valentino's is a great happy hour. I swear to God, the one on
Valentino's.
No, wait.
27.
Okay, first off, I just want you to look at who you're talking to.
Okay, then you know what? That's fine.
And no, I'm just saying age ranges, the college town. If it's the one by the college, it's the one by.
It's
not
not.
there
It's no. It's
anymore.
far. No, it's different. It's not. It's 27th and Pine Lake-ish out there,
Okay.
down south.
Oh my
It's
God.
and Friday.
I know what you're talking
from
about.
3:30 to 5:30, free food. free. See, you judged.
They do that at a lot of
Valentino's
places,
pizza,
though.
but Valentino's like it's
Oh,
free Valentino's
yeah.
pizza, nachos, mini
God.
meatballs, and then drinks. Every drink in the house is half off for those 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours.
But then you have to
3
eat,
to 5?
But then you have to eat
Yeah.
at
All 3
Valentino's.
hours?
Whatever. That's what happens when you have a whole bunch of Moscow mules. Your math gets messed up. But then the Starlight down in Haymarket, it's free food on Fridays as well, and great. But I can't find a place in Omaha that does that for happy hour.
I
where it's
think
like
the
free
reason
food
why
and drinks.
they do that there more so it's because it's a college town. Omaha's just
Free
not.
food? Like, so you have
Yes.
to buy drinks, obviously?
No,
It's just free in general.
just go
'Cause
in.
They can't make you do that anymore. It's kind of like they used to have 2 for Tuesdays
Now-
all the time. They can't do that anymore, and they can't do penny beers.
Valentino's they do make you buy something from the bar before they let you go access
but it doesn't
the buffet.
have to be a drink. You can
Right.
get pop. You can get something else.
More than
like
likely,
that,
yeah.
right?
I didn't.
Things like
I
that.
would never go to a Valentino's bar and get a pop. So I don't know
Right.
that for a fact, but probably. But yeah, Starlight, you just go in and there's just a buffet of food and you just sit down and yeah. So I'm looking for a place like that in Omaha.
I don't know of one of those.
I don't
Yeah,
either.
I've never
Yeah.
heard of this concept before.
Yeah.
I remember in college, it was free wings, is what they would have.
Yeah.
on
I mean, if I
Friday
knew about
nights.
these things, like, because what we used to do
That's
when
where
I
we
was in
ate.
college,
Right.
well, because the dorms wouldn't serve food on weekends, and then when I lived in my sorority house, like they didn't have food on the weekends, so like all the leftovers, but by Sunday were just there was nothing there, and so
That's
everyone
why
would
she doesn't eat leftovers.
yeah,
That's right.
everyone would go
There it
though.
is.
This was smart. You would go for lunch on Sundays to Spaghetti Works when it was still downtown in Omaha,
Yes.
and you would get your lunch. But then before you left, you'd order one more round of pasta, and then it'd come and you'd take like a bite, so it looked like you attempted, and then you'd be like, "Oh shoot, I'm full. I guess I better get this one to go." Also, the bread that we just ordered, just throw that in there too,
There you go.
and then you take that home, and there's your dinner.
We got to go. Family emergency, and you're out.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant idea.
Every week this happens. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it just hasn't changed, and now we wonder why they're no longer in business in Lincoln. I don't know.
I don't know.
Man, I like that place too.
I do.
It's been
I'm
beer
glad
cheese
it's
pasta.
good to hear.
Beer cheese pasta. What was your go-to
All of
sauce?
it. Any
The spicy marinara.
Yeah, it was
Spicy
delish.
marinara. Me too.
All right, we have got to get off of food because I am starving.
Are you
I've had
really?
a bag of pickle chips and
He literally was in here. He was,
P3.
he was doing another podcast earlier with Nick Baugh. And so he's in here and Matt Versal, and they were doing their thing. He ran to go get food. So he was late getting here. He made them wait. And then he walks in with a bag of pickle chips. And so
they said it was
they're dill
fine.
pickles. And like, you aren't going to open them in this room, are you? But them.
Zoop.
And
There you go.
they said, go ahead. I was like, okay, man, you're the guy on the airplane that everybody wants to just chop them.
I was starving.
So we should just keep talking about food.
No, I can't.
Oh my god!
Just for
Hey,
you.
a quick food question
Yes.
though. At Memorial Stadium, they don't have Runza anymore. They do.
They
What
do.
don't they have anymore?
Ben
Is it-
Sass selling them. I think. He's
Well,
not
I know
doing
that.
Yeah,
anymore.
he doesn't sell them any longer.
What they
Understandable.
do the hot dogs, the Fairbury hot dogs,
Yeah.
Valentino's,
Amigos?
and Runza.
Is there
Those
no
are the
more
big ones.
Amigos? I saw something. Yeah, last week they're like, bring back blah blah blah.
I know.
I thought it was Amigos. Maybe I don't remember.
I don't think they do Amigo. I don't think they've done that for a
Had
couple of
something-
years.
There was some story that caught my attention. And I was like, I didn't know that was gone.
We did a story on the Holy Trinity last year.
What's
which
It was
that?
a great story.
Yeah.
It's a
Runza, the Fairbury hot dogs, and Valentino's pizza.
That's about right.
The Holy Trinity of Nebraska food.
Which do you think sells the most from that story? Aaron,
I'd say
don't you?
probably. Probably Fairbury hot dogs.
I don't even remember.
I remember
I would say
because I don't.
I'm going to say the pizza.
Val's Pizza, and it's not.
Oh, that's
close.
right. It is Val's Pizza.
Val's,
They
Val's
just
like
kill it.
ran away with it.
That's crazy.
Really?
Uh huh.
I get it. I kind of get it. It's probably two because a lot of people that are, well, not a lot because the majority of people in the stadium are from Nebraska. But anybody that's visiting are kind of like, what's this Runza you talk of? I'll have the pizza.
Although
Right.
one of my favorite stories before I was in the press box, my family still had season tickets to Nebraska football games. So if anyone wants to know like what I was trying to do when I was trying to get myself into the media and get myself into the press box, like I would literally go sit in the stadium and essentially cover the game from the stands and run out of the stadium at the conclusion of the game and like run to get to my computer to like do a recap on the game. That is what I was doing for like 2 years. It was very high quality work. But I will never forget that first season Nebraska was in the Big Ten because there was this Michigan State fan that was a couple, like our seats were a couple sections over from the visitors, and he was just having the time of his life with the food. He was just like, "Oh, Runza, you bring that on over," and he was just I mean, he ran through multiple hot dogs, multiple pizzas of Valentino's, multiple runs, and like part of me was like, maybe he's drunk. No. He was just very enthused about the food. He
Because
just
you
was
can't
like,
get it back home.
Yeah.
Well, you can't.
But he just thought this
conceivably,
was-
but it's the best food.
yeah,
The
he
best
was-
food. Yeah.
New to the Big Ten. He's like,
Maybe-
hey,
Yeah.
let's see what this is about.
Let's
So
have more of that.
how does the food differ from where we are to up in the Good Life in the press box?
It's very different.
I've
So
seen the food.
Deliciouser up there? Yeah.
It depends on what the meal is.
it does. There's some where it's a little questionable where I'm like, I don't know. Like there's some weeks where it just feels like a little bit of a hodgepodge where it's like, sure, this feels like it could like
Northern Illinois is in town this week.
Northern Illinois.
Some form of chicken and mashed potatoes.
Good Lord. Do you want to know what happened? This is the Northern Illinois meal. It was, I'm not kidding. It was Parmesan chicken Parmesan, some like casserole of like vegetables, which was I think supposed to like replace like a potato, but it was kind of like a cheesy vegetable casserole. And then I'm pretty sure it was the leftover dessert pizza from Valentino's that we'd had on Monday.
What? Really?
But
Pretty sure. But I mean, that stuff is great anyway,
good
so
stuff.
bring it on out. I
That
don't
is
care.
delish.
There was so much of it, I was eating it like through the entire game. Just
That
like,
is
it was great.
But see, as a media member, you put up with those games for the game coming up this weekend. Because with game day and all the national media that's going to be in town,
bet-
they will roll out whatever
Oh,
their
yeah.
I bet
best
we're.
is.
I would.
Without a doubt.
What do I think this weekend will be? So there's a certain. We always get chicken parmesan every year, so that's one.
So that's already out of the way. You're
That's
done with
already
that.
the way. We had breakfast pizza the first week. So,
Chili and cinnamon rolls is one, but
but
that'll
that's
be
always
later.
that's always
yeah,
a
that'll
November
be,
game.
Yep.
That's right.
There's always one game where it's, and I think it might be this weekend. I'm curious if I'm going to be right. There's always one game where they just go like all out concession food, where they bring all the really good cheeseburgers, like the
yeah.
really good
That'd be good.
cheeseburgers, and they also bring all the Fairbury hot dogs, but the ones that don't look they've been wrapped for like the cannon, like they actually are like
Yeah.
a
They're
legitimate
for
one.
human consumption.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Yeah.
then they have like chips, like you can pull any bag of
Yeah.
chips you want, all the Lay's
How fun.
options. That's usually like outside of the chili and cinnamon rolls, like the red carpet day where they're like, this is the like great meal that like everyone in the
awesome.
suites
See,
gets.
that kind of
So-
reminds me of the picture of the president and all the fast food.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the,
Yeah,
it's like
kind of.
Glorious.
It's glorious.
Although-
absolutely glorious.
I will
love it, yeah.
say Illinois, that may be my favorite press box of all time now, because
Yeah.
there's some places where the food is just so good. Northwestern, like they always have hot dogs at halftime. They do the traditional Chicago thing. Illinois had cold brew on tap, but also the nitro cold brew on tap,
Oh, boy.
which was insane. They had
But
cups.
didn't it run out? I remember seeing tweets from angry media
It
members. that
did,
ran
because
out.
apparently we are all very aggressive and drank a lot of it.
I bet if it's free. I mean,
But-
you're supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like pouring another one.
right.
Oh, yeah, great. And so then after like my fifth glass, I'm shocked that it's no longer there.
And you're hammered.
I'm like, it's not beer, it's just cold brew. I'm just really
Oh,
energetic.
cool. Okay, got it.
But
I'm
yeah.
thinking beer.
They had Chinese food for the
Oh,
meal. They
wow.
had hot dogs at halftime. But here's the one that I've never
Lord.
experienced. They had beer.
They
and
really did have
pizza post game.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they had a cooler. This guy walks over. He's like, "Hey, Nebraska media members, if you want to know, there's a cooler of beer in the back." I'm like, "Did someone just like roll up with this?" No, it was an official. Like they had it in one of the nights.
That's
yeah.
pretty sweet.
So I didn't even want it, but I took a beer out of there and was
You
just
just
like,
didn't
just
even want
out of
it.
obligation.
well, yeah.
To be polite.
I was like, I have
yeah.
to do this.
Have to do it.
You have to.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
disrespectful if you didn't.
Right.
Well, this is going to be crazy this weekend. That's for sure. You're looking forward to it, I'm sure. But it's going to be nuts.
It's going to be something.
Because there's going to be so many drunk people. It's because it's the night game, number one, and game day's there. And now they said game day, where are they setting up? Is it on the east side?
It's on the east side by the Coliseum where the volleyball team used to play. So I'm excited that they're doing that. I think in 2007, the reason they were in the stadium is I believe there was construction going on around the stadium. So that, I mean, wasn't a good look. But this one, they have the nice backdrop now of the stadium. But it's wild. Even today, they're shutting parking lots down already. They'll erect the stage on Thursday. Friday is when the basketball shindig
that deal-
happened.
Rick Ross.
this is the first year they've done this for the Husker team, right?
In this capacity, they've done the like practice, like the initial kickoff practice.
It's the first practice of the season, so it's like the grand opening.
They're
kind
of going all out with this one. There are rumors that because Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade are coming to town, there are rumors that LeBron James
I was
might
right.
be coming with them.
I was talking to him about that on yesterday's podcast. I think it was. I was like, who was it that they said is it LeBron?
Yeah, I don't
think
think,
so, maybe.
for people who are trying to see them out and about, like Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union have sort of established themselves where they can go out to a tailgate before the game and they can go do that stuff. And people, for the most part, will leave them alone because they know them. That is not the world that LeBron James lives in. So like people who are thinking they're going to see him out and about, he is going to have, if he legitimately does come to this game, he is going to have his police escort from the airport drive him to the stadium, drop him as close to a door as they can get him. He will walk in, stand on the field for them long enough to be like, basketball
There he
recruits,
is.
it's LeBron James. And then they will take him to whatever suite they have him in.
Right.
I mean, he
sure.
And
is
then, You know
not.
what the funny part is, though, is you have to wonder because by and large, Nebraskans are pretty chill. For the most part. I mean,
They would not be chill about LeBron James.
Flip out.
I'm just
People
like
go
they would flip out if they saw him. They would. But if it's like nope, he doesn't want to talk to anybody. If people genuinely followed directions and didn't, he'd be pissed.
Yeah.
He'd be pissed if people weren't clamoring to get to him. If everybody did say, "Okay, we'll respect your wishes,"
I think
and
he'd
not
be more confused.
right.
Than
It'd be
even
like,
pissed. He'd be like, wait.
what is going on
These
here?
people listen.
I'm a 6'9", enormous basketball player, maybe the best of all time. You people don't like me? Well, I showered today. Like, I don't smell.
Yeah. No, I will say, like, if I see him, I might lose my cool. So it's
I
totally
will.
fine.
Yeah, I'll be.
That's
If
awesome.
everybody else wants to stay away, I'll be the one person running. Hey, LeBron.
I know. I did that. To be fair, I did that to be a member of the media, you do your best to keep your cool. You do your best to be as like nothing affects me. I don't care about anything. But I will say the very first time I ever saw Gabrielle and Dwayne Wade in person, I lost my cool. And Dwayne Wade made me feel better about this because I lost my cool more about her than him. I mean, I super respect him, but I think because of my job, I don't get as crazy about athletes because I work around so many of them. So it's sort of lost that luster, except for LeBron James. That's different level. But yeah, so I see Gabrielle Union, I just lose my mind. I'm like, oh my God, I love you. And he made me feel better because he's like, this happens regularly. People love my wife. I'm like,
and that's so you didn't feel like a weirdo.
no, and I mean, to be
That's
fair,
cool.
I did that to Sam Ponder as well. When I ran into her and Christian Ponder, I literally handed my phone to Christian and was like, can you take a photo of me and Sam? And then afterwards apologized to him. He's like, you'd be surprised how often that happens.
All the
So
time.
I'm
Quite
like,
a bit.
all
Yeah.
the time. Yeah.
I'm like, all right, as long as like you're cool with it.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
sure he probably likes that.
Exactly.
Yeah, for him, he's like, I think he loves his wife so much and thinks it's so awesome that people like support her in the way that it does that he's like, that's fine. Plus,
for
he's
it.
very tall, so he had a really nice angle for the photo,
That's
which I
always
really
important.
appreciate. Yeah,
It's hard to teach people that. They don't appreciate
Hard to
it.
teach people the angle.
I tried
a
for
real
15
nice angle.
years at the station. I swear to God, had some of the worst pictures taken by people. It's like nobody cares what I have on my feet. Can you come up closer?
And put, like, you're laying on the
Angles.
floor and taking it
angles.
up.
It's seriously, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you always have the group shot where and everybody's in frame, but for some reason, because of the way we're trained, I guess growing up, you always have the ones that are huddled over and squatting down on their and there's all this space around them. They could have easily stood up and had their picture taken, but everybody leans in.
the
It's
sorority
like, oh
squad.
my God.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shoulders up.
Everyone like,
Erin, it was nice to meet you. See you again.
goodness.
It's been a long time since
yeah,
we've seen you.
you've now said this is the second time it's nice to meet me, and you've met me
Well,
before.
but
How dare you?
I know, and I remember, and I did say that initially, but
It's just kidding.
yeah,
What did he say? He said
I
he
said,
never
"Hi,
met
nice
you.
to meet
No,
you."
he said it was nice to meet you, and I was like, oh, we've met.
and it's been a long
Do you remember
time.
when she came in? She
I
came
do.
in.
I do
Actually,
remember.
actually, it was you guys who gave me a lot of really good feedback because I remember I was very nervous the time I did that show and I laughed a lot. And I think about that now, not in a bad way. I think laughing is a good thing, but I am very hyper aware now of not just only laughing and trying to actually have commentary. So that's because of you.
Well,
Oh, well,
thank you.
thanks.
Until you didn't remember me. So
That's right. Now,
Way to
all
go.
that, now you're gonna start laughing all the time.
Way to go, Pat.
just to spite you.
Nice job. Oh my God.
Good luck with the food this weekend too.
Yes.
Thanks. I'll let you all know what ends up happening.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, because people are invested in this now.
Yes.
They
this- It matters.
At least Dan will care. I'll tell Dan.
I will definitely
my
care.
gosh.
I always care.
Oh, my glasses are really dirty.
I know we have new stuff to read too from Kugler Vision.
I know,
Kugler Vision
I
is a supporter of our podcast. They've been a
Which is-
supporter since the beginning almost.
They have, and I wear readers, right? And
Yeah.
he says, we can fix that. And I said, I'm going to come in and talk to you about this because we need to talk about this.
I'm like
Yeah.
legitimately trying to like consider LASIK at some
Yeah.
point. So maybe this ad will sell me on it.
I'm not kidding you. It just might do that. Because honestly, again, like you said, we've been working with them for months now and absolutely love working with them. And everybody in the office, Dr. Kugler, Dr. Stentz, they've both been on the podcast before, got a chance to do a get to know me kind of thing. And they're both low key funny. We were talking, Stephanie was talking to Stephanie in their office. And kind of an interesting thing we kind of stumbled across is if you wear glasses or contacts, and I did for years, glasses. I think I started wearing glasses in 3rd grade. And,
Same.
but the funny thing is that all your life you're buying new glasses like every year. You're getting new prescriptions every year. You literally are renting your vision.
Wow.
Oh, that's an
Interesting way of putting it.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Seriously, you're renting your vision and there is no end in sight. No pun intended.
That's a good point.
There is there is none. Whereas if you go into Kugler Vision and you go through the consultation and they run you through the battery of tests, but then you go in there and they show you on these big screen TVs exactly where your eyes are and what you can do. They offer all 7 kinds of procedures, which I didn't know there were 7 until they told me that.
Right.
And they're the best in the state by
They are.
far. So when
I
you
didn't know there were 7 either. Holy
right?
crap.
Yeah.
So it's not like one size fits all. So they're very specific. But the whole point being that once you do this, it's bought and paid for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's a way better deal in the long run than renting your
Very
vision.
true.
Right?
Yeah.
And also, we're getting near the end of the year. Don't forget about your flex spend accounts and your health savings accounts. Just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. If you have money in them and you're thinking, what can I do?
Burn it up.
Kuglervision.com.
right.
And get your consultation. You can schedule it yourself.
Thanks for coming in, Dan.
Of course.
Aaron, thanks for coming in.
Yes,
Thank
thank you
you.
guys.
Aaron Sorensen on Twitter.
Yep.
Right?
Dan Hoppen on Twitter.
That's
So easy.
so easy.
So easy.
unless you're Jill Thomas and some rando has my name somewhere.
Stupid Jill Thomas that won't respond to you. Thanks for listening to Pat and JT.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Parkville Media Production.